All right, team, if you could share your screens in respect for our guests, we have a very special guest on with us today, Mr. Melvin Tejada. Do you go by Mel or does it matter? What's
Yeah, I go by Mel. Yep.
Mel? Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm excited, guys, to have Mel on because he is just a worker, right? Like he's a powerhouse. He's consistent. He's had a lot of success in life and in this business. So these are the kind of people that I personally, selfishly am do these calls to learn from, but also for the team to learn from, and for people that see this on social media. So Mel, thanks so much for being on with us, brother.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
So I know you came to, I think, the US in 2016. Is that correct?
Yep.
Was that about 7 years ago, right? Um,
Hmm.
I know you were in the pool business before. Dental business. Are you still in the dental business?
Yeah, dental management. Yeah,
Dental,
dental
okay.
practice management. Yeah.
And insurance. So from what I understand, you found insurance from YouTube, seeing a YouTube video. Okay. What was it that spiked your interest? Because YouTube, there's so many things nowadays, right? There's from Bitcoin to Amazon to dropship. There's a million different things. Why insurance? I'm always curious to know.
Yeah. So before I joined FFL or the life insurance industry, well, I was selling pools. I was also in the Army National Guard, and I did 5 years in the Army. I got out last year in June 3rd of 2022, and I've
Your
always
service, by
had
the
the
way.
heart. Can you hear me?
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, appreciate your support. Yeah, so I've always had the heart to serve people. I I like giving my best, and adding value to the community. As long as I can add value into a team, a company, or a project, then I'm willing to participate. I'm willing to be there and give my best. If I can't add value, then I will not be involved. So 5 years in the Army, and then General Evans, 3-star general now, he told me, and this was the light bulb that popped up in my head. He told me, I solved a huge, not a huge problem, but like in the RTC program, like there was some logistics going on, and I just figured it out in like, couple minutes or something. He was like, you were very good in business, young man. And I was like, well, I'll look into that. And that started my business mindset and then business endeavors. But to answer your question, why insurance? Well, Todd Hausberger, which is the person who brought me into the business, had a YouTube commercial of himself talking to the audience, saying, "Hey, I helped 20 families in 1 week. This is what I did, and you just gotta call them. They fill out the form, and you're gonna get some rejections. Obviously, we're in sales, but we're gonna train you. We're gonna develop your sales skills. At the end of the day, we're gonna be the person who's actually going to deliver the check in the worst day of their lives, and you get paid for it." And I was like, well, it sounds like I can add some value here. I called Todd, and the rest is history.
Hmm. So, and Matt, remind me, how old are you now?
24.
24. Love it. And where are you from originally?
Dominican Republic.
Okay, nice. So you saw this opportunity. Do you have an opportunity like this in the DR?
No, probably to politics.
Right. Okay. So it's like when you see something like this, you're like, let's go, right? Like you see the value in something like this and an opportunity like this.
You got caught off. Let me see. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just said, when you see an opportunity like this, like you're not going to let it go. Like you're going to take full advantage.
Yeah, well, all of us are presented with opportunities, and you just got to be aware that the opportunity is there and take advantage of it, because you might not be able to uh, take advantage of it and benefit from it at that point.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I agree. So how many years are you in now?
With life insurance, last week it was 2 years.
2 years.
Yep.
Love it. So tell us about your first 30 days.
Well, the first 30 days was 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 not the same as the newer agents. I was still building my team from my other company. I was building my board and hiring employees, firing some others. You know, building the right environment, the right culture for my other company, and I was just selling here and there every week, every other weekend. And let me see, it was like 17 families in the first month. I went full time for the regular person standards, 40 hours a week, in November. So 2 months later, and then I started doing 25, 30, 33 consistently from there.
Okay. But so I guess what I'm getting at is in your first 30 days, how many families did you help? Whether you're part-time, full-time?
Yeah, I have 17 or 19, I can't recall. Just almost 20. Yeah.
Okay. And what was that like? Did you have the funds to buy leads, invest in leads right away? Did you struggle with that mindset of having to actually spend money to make money? What did that look like for you more mentally than anything?
Yeah, so mentally it was a pretty easy commitment because for my other business we buy revenue and create revenue. So when you buy leads, you're buying your revenue.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it wasn't new to you. It wasn't a new concept for you.
It wasn't a new concept. No. So I didn't have that hesitation. Todd told me, "Hey man, this is what I spend between 1,500 to 2,000," and I said, "Well, let's start with 1,500." We started 1,500. We went to the ILC, and we diversified. He told me to diversify because some days the mailers could work. Some days the mailers will not respond to your phone calls. So you always want to have diversity, just like in any industry. Like Walmart just not only sell DeSena, they sell smart water. I mean, they diversify too. I think what you're asking me as far as like how did it look like for me to get to 17 or 19 families the first month and how did I feel? I just followed exactly what Todd told me. I told myself that I don't know if this is right on a religion basis, but I told, okay, Todd is kind of Jesus. I'm gonna do whatever he says, and I'm gonna put my head down and do whatever he says. And I did it at the time, the limited amount of time that I worked that month. You know, yeah, and it was in home.
It was in home. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. And then, so when did you make a transition from in home to telesales?
May 2022, May 1st, 2022.
May 1st, 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that month like?
So I was cold turkey. The first 2 weeks, I helped like about 2 families, and then I kind of figured it out for the remainder and ended up helping like 27 families that month.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do the month prior in home?
30.
Okay.
30 something. Yeah.
Okay. So you were able to stick to what you were doing. You're able to stick to the script.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your biggest challenge with telesales? Like in that 2-week learning curve, what would you say was your biggest challenge?
Mindset, keeping a cool, calm, and collected mindset. You know, not getting in my head or not decreasing the amount of trust that I had in myself. I know a lot of folks recommend that you do the hybrid and then transition fully into telesales. I built Mel to the point where I trust myself to the point where I can figure it out. It doesn't matter the challenge. I'm going to figure it out. Just like if you have anybody went to college or to high school here in this call, didn't you have to take tests and you had to study or figure it out for Monday when you had the test? Well, that's what I did. I took that type of mindset. Okay, next Monday I have a test. I want to help 5 families by next week or something. And I'll watch tons of podcasts of folks who are crushing it in the industry, right? You got to follow people who've been there, done that, not people who are just doing some fake consulting or some fake advice because they haven't been there, done that, you know? But bottom line, I took the mindset of, okay, let me go back to school. Let me figure this out. Let me take my notes, record myself, right? Make sure that I'm doing the body language properly while I'm on the phone. Make sure that I have the right tonality, sound detached, neutral, unbiased, customer focused, no commission breath, and just hold on tight and keep believing that God will take me through the hard times. which was the first 2 weeks that I never experienced in months. 2 weeks just selling two or three policies, and then picking it back up the remainder of the 2 weeks of May 2022.
I love that, preparing for the test.
Yeah.
So would you say that your actual presentation changed at all?
Not really, no.
So it's more of a mindset shift than anything.
More of a mindset. Now, my presentation changed in 2023 though, because I still had the same amount of chargebacks, which was 32%, between 32 and 35%. And then I said, okay, now that I got the telesales figured out, I got the 70% sticking and the 35 or 30% going away based on industry standards. I said, well, that's industry standards. Let me see if I can figure something else out that I can improve on. At least drop it down to 20. Keep more of the funds in my business as opposed to not. Like, we're always trying to improve and be more profitable.
Yeah.
From a finance standpoint of view. So I started, like I said a couple seconds ago, I started sounding a little bit less pushy on the phone. I didn't build sales resistance by explaining the process at the beginning. What I used to do, so here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you how I used to do it and how I do it today, and how I'm more profitable today. So how I used to do it, I'll call and I'll say, benefit center, state regulated life insurance. That's good, but this is how I used to do it. Hey Frank, this is Melvin calling you back from the benefits office here in South Carolina. You reached out to us about the state regulated life insurance, and I got your date of birth as March 26th of 55. Correct? Yes. Okay. Are you working, retired, or disabled? Retired. Okay. You got any doctor's appointments? No. Okay. You got some time right now, or you want me to call you back later? I don't have time right now. Call me back later. We set up a time. You want 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? I only got 2. Oh, I don't have any time. I'll be back by 7. Oh, I only have an 8 then. It was kind of like adversarial. It works. It was the 70-30. I was still profitable, but I was trying to find a way to get to the sale faster. Not only play the numbers game, but add the sales skills too. When you add sales skills plus numbers games, then you're more profitable. That's what I figured out. So the new intro that I've been using in 2023 is, I'll now role play with you, Frank. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Frank, this is just Melvin, and I'm just calling you back about the possible financial protection options that you were looking for on Facebook to protect your family when you pass away and cover the funeral expenses or leave a legacy behind when you pass away. Is that what you were looking for, or something different, Frank?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay, and I got here that you are working, or are you working, retired, or disabled? And you will say,
I'm working.
You're working. Okay. Well, we're just scheduling appointments for later today. At what time do you usually get off work?
Around 5:30.
Around 5. Okay. I could possibly give you a call back around 6. If with your permission, I can call you back around 6 today.
Yeah, that works.
And how do you remember your appointments? Do you put them on a calendar, or you put them on your phone or the fridge?
Yeah, I put it on my phone. My phone.
Your phone? Okay. And before we get off the phone, Frank, I have a 85-year-old couple at an hour before our call. Just in case I'm a little bit late, do I still have your permission to call you back right around 6:37?
Yeah, that works.
That works. Okay. And in the meantime, I'm gonna send you a reminder and my credentials, and I'll possibly help you out today. I look forward to possibly helping you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So what did I do there? I added neutral language, neutral words. Possibly might. I don't sound like the regular salesperson on the phone. A lot of people say I'm gonna help you, and believe it or not, that builds a little bit of sales resistance because you sound like 99% of people. So selling equals change. So ergo, if that's the truth, if they're looking to change their situation, then are they going to change their situation with the person who sounds different, more detached, customer focused, or the person who sounds like 99% of salespeople? Probably the first person.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to help more families per call. So my ratios increased, basically. Yeah.
Okay. So did your stick ratio also change?
Yeah. Now my chargeback ratio, believe it or not, is about 5%.
Really? What would you say the main thing what would you attest the main thing because due to that? Is it just you sounding less salesy, or have you over time been more decisive on who you're actually going to take as a client?
It's just modifying the sales cycle, the sales process.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Have
I'll explain.
you sorry to interrupt you. Have you added anything in the end to kind of solidify or cement them sticking as a client?
Yeah. So one question that I will ask at the end is, I'll say, Frank, I appreciate you taking the time to let me help you. Before we get off the phone, in your mind, I guess, in your mind, how do you feel that I've been able to help you the most?
Well, the last person that I dealt with, we had an appointment. They didn't even call me back. So, you said you were going to call me at a certain time, and you did.
Well, good. And who in your family or people might be struggling on getting financial protection for their family?
That's good.
It's a good question. I would say probably I have a cousin that
Well, hold on. You said a cousin. Why do you think your cousin would benefit from having a conversation with me?
they have young children, and I don't know if they have life insurance. I'd be surprised if they did, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, how do you feel it would be the best way to approach your cousin? Do you want me to call him, or you want to kind of preset the appointment and you want to call him first?
You can let them know about you.
Right. Okay. And what's his number?
His number?
Yeah.
I think I'd be more comfortable just telling him myself.
All right. That's fine. No problem. And then if he's interested, then you got my number anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a 50-50. They'll give you the number at that point, or they will actually call the cousin, and then you call them back a week later, letting them know that the policy went through and making sure that they got the policy a week or 10, 15 days later, depending on the draft date. And you remind them about the referral, and they'll give you the number either on the spot after you help them solve their problem. You don't solve the customer's problem if you don't make the sale. I'll make it clear. You can provide the solutions, but if they don't buy from you, you didn't help them. They didn't solve their problem. They're running around without insurance. But yeah, you can either get the referral on the spot or later on when you do the policy review, and I like to call them when they get their policy, 30 days later, and then my system follows up with them over time. But that's a good question to ask for them to realize that they don't have to shop around. It's easier based on data. Science tells us that we are most persuasive when we have a dialogue with the person we're talking to, in our case with the client, and when they hear themselves telling me the reasons why they did X, Y, Z, or why they went with me. Right? The system that I used before, I was assuming everything. I was staying surface level, and I never uncovered. Not like there will be problems. You can uncover more problems. There will be concerns that a lot of people push under the rug and push for the approval. Right? It works when it works. But what if you uncover that through your questioning ability, and then you avoid chargebacks? Mm-hmm. You can prevent them as opposed to being in the handling chargeback situation. So if you can prevent them.
Yeah, and I believe you could be more assumptive, and you could take that approach more in person, in home, because you're building a different type of rapport than you are on the phone. So that's great. That's a great outlook. Now, I don't know if you have these stats. Do you know how many how many families do you help per month on average today?
Today, 25, 35.
Okay.
Get back. Yeah.
Let's just say 30 for even number's sake.
Mhm.
30 families. How many would you say those are referrals?
I would say out of 30 families, 5 referrals, 5, 10 referrals. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like your lead cost is taken care of by your referrals.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so everything else is net.
Yeah.
That's great. And I just on our team training on Monday, I was talking about referrals and the importance of it. And this guys just solidifies how important asking referrals is, especially with telesales.
And Frank, a lot of people, they want to get the referrals and they just say, hey, who do you know that might benefit from this? The goal is to do the ABD, not the ABC. Always be closing, could work when it works, but always be disarming also works way better. And I say that to say this, you got to preset what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Preset it. So the first question was, in your mind, how do you do some verbal pause, body language, verbal cues? In your mind, how do you feel that I've been able to help you the most? And then they tell themselves and they tell you why. And that's how you preset on asking for a referral. Because they're going to tell you why they're so happy, why are you their hero. And since you're their hero, they want you to help more people, save more people. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I spent the first 5 years in this business referral only, no leads. So I know it works. Does leads work better? Absolutely. But I know asking for referrals works. So you have a team. How many writing agents do you have on your team?
I have 11 there, and they are nothing against people over the age of 50. Just my guys just want to write every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something I'm working on with Todd and others here, Dave, and I'm getting advice on hiring the people I want to work with who want to do this full time.
You have good people in your corner to help you do that. So
yeah.
Talk to me about what in your when you see agents, whether it be direct to you or just people that you're around in the office, agents in their first 90 days, 6 months, year, what are mistakes, pitfalls you see them making that you're just like from a mile away, you see, okay, this person's going to fail or this person's going to struggle?
Yeah, they stick. There's a couple of things there. They stick with a company club. When I mean my company club, meaning if they're in an office, every now and then they'll dial for like an hour. They booked an appointment or they booked 2. They'll go to the kitchen and they see, I don't know, Mark. And then they see Jacob or they see Lee there. And they start talking about stories and stuff or talking about insurance, non-producing activities, right? So they waste, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. They come back, dial for an hour or 30 minutes, do the same thing again. Or even in live dials, like right now, like on Discord or Slack or Zoom calls, they'll be chit-chatting. And you have the analytical brain, and then you have the creative brain, and they go from left brain to right brain, left brain to right brain, and they don't get focused. There's not high performance activity done. It's just half-ass activity. And when you do that, it takes you more to help families, and you're stressed out, and the anxiety is built to the point where you complain about leads, you complain about the company, and you go on Reddit and you put in this thing doesn't work.
I love it. So, yeah. So let's say you hired me. Okay, we're on a Zoom call. First time, really, like I just got licensed, got my contracts, and this is our initial kind of like go get him, Frank call. What does that conversation look like where you know that whatever I do is up to me, work ethic wise, right? You can't, but you're also going to have a conversation to make sure that you give me as much information as I can to go out and have the success I need. What does that conversation look like?
Yeah, I'll say, Frank, every day before you start dialing, and let's say we're on the East Coast, from 7:30 to 8, we're going to be role playing. That's a non-negotiable. You want to work with me? We're going to be role playing. Practice makes perfect. Now we're not trying to be 100% perfect, but you know we're professionals here. Like you see, basketball players, football players, they all practice, and when they come to performance time, it seems like it was natural. It seems easy, right? So role play, um, objection prevention, the script, and then objection handling. And I barely get objections nowadays, and the people I work with, because we work mainly on objection prevention. Mm-hmm. Now, if it comes, then fine, we have tools to address it. And we address it differently than the other folks. So role play will be one thing. Consistent lead investment every week, same amount. But if you are in a tight situation and you can only do 500, do 500 and build yourself up to 1,000. Then after 1,000, and then here's the thing: there's always going to be a big fish every week. I don't know why, but I might be helping 5 families, and the volume might be a little bit lower. And for some reason, my policy number 6 or 7 is a big fish, and it gets me over the 8 families, 10 families, 15, 20, whatever, over for the week. There's always going to be a big fish. So if you know that in your mind, there's always going to be a big fish, you follow the phases of your script, whatever script you use, you're neutral, and you have the constant activity of having one dial session for 4 hours. If you want to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Forget about the company club, chit-chatting. You're focused like a factory. It should be boring, mundane, like a factory. The law averages will play out. So script training, have the right mindset for the day, consistent lead investment every week.
What type of leads?
Huh?
What type of leads do you run?
Facebook final expense leads. Yeah. Veteran. I do veteran leads and like veterans, and then I also do just regular life insurance final expense.
Okay, and then how? Yeah. And you said you spend about 1,500 a week.
About $1,000 every 5 days. Every 5 days, yeah.
Okay, and that gets you to average about 30 families a month.
Yeah, and sometimes more. Yeah, when you get the big fish, a bigger fish like I had last week, 30 families. No, hold on, 28 families in one appointment.
Isn't that?
Yeah,
it's not a fish. That's a whale.
Yeah, a whale. Yeah, monster whale. Yeah. So yeah, role play, mindset is a big thing. I mean, again, going back to the same thing we spoke. No mindset is in this business is having there's risk and reward, and I always say no risk, no glory. If you're not willing to do the risk, then get a fixed income job. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you're not willing to go to the next level, to take the quantum leap.
Sometimes it's better to get the job if you aren't willing to take the risk. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. You just not the high performer that we expected you to be in this specific niche industry. Now you could be a high performer in your job or another industry. There's not a problem. But specifically in our group, we have to be high performers, or otherwise we do something else. Why will your heart beat? You know that your heart beats every day, and you wake up every day and you work. Why in the world will you half-ass? Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense. Might as well just do something else.
I agree. Okay, so you had that initial conversation. I'm curious, when you said you guys go over objection handling and also objection prevention. Mm-hmm. Just about some of the tips you give with objection prevention first.
Yeah. So when you're setting an appointment, how I used to do it before, I used to agree on the time and then call them back. Right. The way I do it now, the modern way of doing it, I believe, in my opinion, is to tell them, write this down if you have notes, with your permission. It lets the prospect knows that you respect their time, not only your time, their time as well. So that's your first point of that you're different than other folks. Second thing is, how do you remember your appointments? And the third thing is, if you don't want to say the 85-year-old couple, that's at your discretion. You can say that you have another appointment and you might be running late because you're helping another family. That's the third thing. But always say with your permission and use body language and use your hands like this. That's the first thing. And then the other type of objection prevention is when you are going over the options, don't go over the options real quick. Actually build the why. And after you build the why and you find the problem, provide the solutions without providing prices, like meaning, all right, so after you pass away, Mary, you said that you only want to pay for the funeral, right? Yeah. Now, is there anything else that you're wanting that maybe pay for your son's bills for the next 3 months and you leave a couple thousand behind? Oh yeah, we could do that, and if the price is right, right. So you provide that solution. After you provide the solution, then you ask the prospect a consequence question. Have them explore failure. This is an objection prevention method. Have the prospect explore failure, how the situation will look like if they don't do anything about this today. For example, Frank, so you just want to cover the bird. Let's just say nothing extra. So at the point of your demise, you just want to have the family cover the bird, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if we were able to help you solve this small problem of not having Mary have anything in place or have her to come out of pocket for your funeral, if we were able to help you solve that small problem of not having anything in place, what would that do for you as a husband? What would that do for you personally, though?
Well, it's going to make me feel accomplished as a provider for my family.
Okay, accomplished a provider. And what happens if you don't do anything about this and the situation gets even worse and nothing changes for the next 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, hell, even 2 years? What happens to Mary and the family at that point?
Well, I mean, I'm not planning on dying tomorrow, but
You're not planning on.
I'm not planning on.
Okay. And are you willing to settle for that?
Not necessarily.
Right. Sounds like time to make a change.
Yeah.
Well, if we were able to help you find exactly what you're looking for at an affordable rate, Frank, would that help you at all?
Absolutely. That's the goal. As long as it can.
Well, yeah. Well, the life insurance carriers, they calculate the rates based on your age, health conditions, and height and weight. How's your health? And then you go over the health, the finance, budget, and then you provide the options. The prospect at that point is at an emotional high.
Mm-hmm.
People buy 100% on emotion. If you don't ask that with the right tonality, starting skeptical and ending concerned, if you just say, so what happens if you don't do anything about this and the situation gets worse? It dilutes the question. Might as well don't do it, right? But you see how you preset the options?
Yep.
They're at an emotional high. They're waiting for you to tell them some options. And now, why you start with health? Because if you give them prices without health, then it doesn't make sense. Because they might not even get it. So health, then when you get prices, don't say dollar amounts. Say $130 of the funds that you need to set aside for this plan. The funds, the funding, not the price. Mm-hmm. The funding, not the budget that you need. No. The funding. And then how do you figure out the budget? You ask them, hey, Frank, another favor. We preset it. Remember, another favor. We're helping them. Another favor that we do for our clients is going over their budgetary process just to make sure that we find something that you can invest and set aside every month that doesn't hurt the pocket or the bank, just so that we don't waste your time or our time. If you don't mind me asking, what's your approximate monthly income? You get the monthly income, And then you go over the main stuff: rent, car insurance, car payment, phone bills, if any, and so forth. And then you tell them, if you find any financial advisor that is worth any salt, they will tell you that you shouldn't invest more than 20 to 25% of your disposable income on life insurance. Okay. So the rule of thumb is no more than 20 to 25% on life insurance. That prevents you, when you ask them for the options, the next question, that prevents you from like, oh, I got to think about it. It reduces the amount of rejections that you're going to get, or as I call them, concerns, and you help them overcome concerns. So yeah, budget, finance, and then provide them with the options, and you go forward from there.
I love it. And then what would you say that are the main objections that you have to overcome?
Sometimes is the draft date, immediate draft date. Because they know they can afford the $20,000 option in 2 months or in a month, right? But I don't personally like to post their stuff if I know I can get them something more affordable and get them covered, so that I don't get that headache that, oh my God, they died and the draft was for the 1st of October,
Right. So yeah. How do you personally overcome that?
Yeah, so let's just say that you like the option 2, which is $20,000, and I'm gonna ask you, hey, Frank, do you feel like option number 2 could be the answer for you? Yeah, and you will say, yeah, but that's the normal one, I guess. Yeah, but I don't know. I might have to think about that. Or I might have to call me back later because I gotta figure out some stuff. And then I will say, oh, that's not a problem. Oh, Melvin, why did you say that? No, push for the approval, right? No, that's not what you do, right? This is what you do. Oh, that's Frank, that's not a problem. Before we get off the phone, you see, I'm going off the phone in their mind. Oh, he's going away, right? Before we go off the phone, can I maybe make a suggestion, Frank?
Sure.
Have you thought about possibly reducing the amount of coverage from 20,000 to the 15,000 or 10,000, just to at least have something in place, just so you're not running around without insurance, and have something that you can afford today, and then when your net worth increases, then you can call me back and we can increase it to the other option. That's pretty simple. Would that be a reasonable solution for you? And most of the time they'll say, yeah, well, how much is the 10,000 again? And if 79. All right, let's do it. But if you say, oh, so we're not sure if you can even get approved yet. Yes, we know. We know in the next 10 minutes that they're gonna be approved for most of the carriers, right? So avoid doing that, because I did it the first year. And I had a 35% chargeback ratio, and now I don't have it anymore. It's like less than 5%. And you can call my upline or the finance person and check it out if you want to. So,
believe you.
Yeah.
Love it. Great advice. And then would you say, is there another objection that you get a lot, or that you would be helpful to everybody to hear how you overcome?
Yes, you're going to get the A types on the phone. I love those people. Like the ones who are like the tough ones, they want the price immediately. When you call them, they were like, yes, I get it, what you're saying, but what's the price, right? So go ahead and ask me the question. Hello, Frank, this is just Melvin. And you see how I use body language, so make sure that you use it when you call them. It helps a lot. Hey, this is just Melvin, and I'm just your veterans consultant, and they had me call you back because you reached out to us a couple of days ago about the financial protection to help your family cover your funeral or leave a legacy behind when you pass. Is that what you were looking for, or something different?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay, and I got your date of birth here as March 27 of 55. It says here that you're retired. Have you ever had life insurance before?
When I was young.
When you were young? Okay. And
but you know what? Just calling because I wanted to get the price on this.
Oh, the price, yes, that's not a problem. I'll have to learn a little bit more about your current situation. They base the rates based on your age, health, and then height and weight. And once I understand that, I can give you all the prices and all the quotes that you want. Would that help you if I did that?
I need 100,000. I need to see if you could do better than $95 a month. Can you beat that?
Possibly. Have you ever been to the mechanic, Frank?
Through this, 3 or 4 times now. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine.
Right, right. Have you ever? Let me ask you this. Have you ever been to the mechanic?
Of course.
So when you go to the mechanic, you can't just go into him or her and ask him, okay, give me an estimate right now. He's not even sure he can help you yet. He'll have to understand a little bit more about your situation, about the car, just to make sure that he can even help you. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Frank, between you and I and off the record, what's the real reason you're possibly looking for coverage?
Well, I had a health issue a little while back, nothing major, but
I'm not quite sure if you understood my question. But between you and I, and off the record, what's the real reason you're looking for life insurance?
because I had a stroke.
You had a stroke, and you got concerned about your health, and you possibly passing away earlier than you thought.
I want to leave something to my family, God forbid,
Okay, all right, and then I'll go to the financial inventory and do that part. Okay. For those eight type of personalities, you want to disarm them because Frank told us in this call, he's been to 3 different people and he's been denied. He's frustrated already. He's not willing to go through the whole building the why and stuff. But that's the way where you get them from price-based thinking to results-based thinking. Get him back, remind him why he's doing this, and not being combative against me because I had nothing to do with the other people. I'm a different guy.
Yeah.
And I can possibly help him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great stuff, dude. All right. Last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we have an agent on here. They help 7 to 9 families a month. And they're just like, man, what I would do to be able to help 25, 30, 35 families a month. But there's just a disconnect. They've been trying start, stop, up and down roller coaster of emotions, and they just don't see how they can get to that level. What do you tell that person?
If they're investing in leads?
Maybe they are, maybe they're not.
Okay. If they are, they're not. The first thing that they got to do is practice their script, whatever script you're using. Be more neutral on the phone. Record yourself. Study your sales calls. Send your sales calls to a person, hopefully your upline, who's been there, done that, who can provide you with feedback on your tonality, on your verbal cues, nonverbal cues, body language. And after you get feedback, then fix the problem. Because you might be doing the work of dialing. You might be thinking that you're doing a lot of effort, but you're forgetting to work on your craft. Because the first 5 to 12 seconds, believe it or not, will determine if you're going to have a chance with that person on the phone. If you sound too high, hey, how you doing today? Or how's the weather? Or, hey, this is Frank calling you back. Like, they know what you're doing. They're not stupid. So you can screw it up from the first 5 to 12 seconds if you don't have the right pacing and the right tonality. And we're here at the Lock-In, the Velocity Lock-In, training on that every morning for the next, every 3 days. So I'll say that'll be my advice. Increase your questioning ability, sales skills, record yourself like a recording, and then have somebody record yourself or have a separate camera record yourself on how you do it. See your body language. How do you come across? Do you come across as a used car salesman, or do you come across as an unbiased, detached, neutral application person who's just trying to help? That will be it. And then invest in leads, right?
Okay.
Diversify your lead.
And how do you that's struggling with pulling that trigger to invest more in leads?
Well, they might not want to use their own money. I'm a pretty big fan of using other people's money. So if you have some form of fair credit or good credit, get a line of credit. Create a business, an LLC, and get credit for that business and use those funds to fund your business, your insurance business. If you have poor credit, there's other avenues. If you have a car and you own a car, get a title loan. If you believe in yourself, get a title loan, invest in your lease, and you're gonna get your money back anyways, and more. Ask a family member for some temporary funding and pay them back. I pay them $500 on top of it. Like, if you have bad credit, that's what I recommend you to do. If you have good or fair credit, then you know what I'll say. Just put it on a credit card or put it on a line of credit if you have a business.
So basically, no excuses.
Yeah, John Wetmore was here. What, 2.5 hours ago, and he was talking about that, about lead investment. So if I have $100 and you are the vendor, Frank, and I give you $20 and I make 1,000 back, or let's just say 100. I give you $20 and I make 100 back. I'm out of the 100. I'm gonna give you 20 again. Did I spend 40 or did I spend 20? I used the house number. I spent 20. I will always be spending 20. And as you get better and you increase your sales skills, then increase the lead investment budget from 20 to 40 and move on, right? I have another business, and the beautiful part about FFL is that it helps me fund my staff from other businesses. Because right now we're at the development stage and we're just injecting money into it. And guess what? FFL helps me do this. Like, I'm happy every day I'm here. I add value, pays my bills, and pays my staff from my other business. What else can I ask for? Now, if I didn't have that other business, I'll be putting, instead of 20, I'll be putting 50. You know? Yeah.
Love it so much for your time. Very helpful. Very helpful. Really appreciate you, dude. Anything I could do for you, your team, please let me know.
All right, man. Well, you'll have a great day.
You too.
Right.
Thanks, brother. All right, guys.
Hey, and
let's
remember, no risk, no glory. You want glory, take risk.
Amen to that. All right, guys. Next, we're going to go over the leaderboard here.